So as soon as it's done, I will check my firewall actually and my SE Linux, and I need to reboot again. So the checking of the firewall, that's the command. I don't need it running, so I'm gonna say stop and disable. I will do disable after. Actually, I'm gonna install something which is that's what I installed previously. I'm gonna add here now another one, which is IP tables. If it doesn't show something, you could always use the search command. Always use the search command, and as you see, it's IP table services, and now it will work. It is installed. Now what I do will be to check my SE Linux, and if it's on, I need to stop. Yeah, it's enabled. So what I need to do is to do vim etc, and then go to the SE Linux, and here there is a configuration file, config file, and I need to just change this thing from enforcing to disabled, and I need to save my changes. As soon as I do this, I need to reboot. Okay, and basically my CentOS 7 will be ready to be installed. I just need to finish the settings of the HTTPD to test it, and after this we will be able to integrate it within the GNS3. So let me log in back. What I would do here now would be to remove the welcome page, which by default is there. Let's try to copy and to see if I'm going to be able to paste. I'm not able, so it's okay. I will remove the page which is coming with the installation of the web server by default. And that's a welcome. Okay, then I'm going to access the HTTP configuration file. And I would check on the line 86. By the way, if I would like to go to a line, I would show it to you. Well, server admin here, I need to change to my domain, which is test.local. Okay. Then I need to go to 95, and I need to uncheck this. And I need to put, instead of example.com, I would need to put my test.local. Then I need to go to line 151. So if I click escape here and I click colon and will write down 151 and click enter, I'm going to go right there. And instead of override none, I need to say here off. Okay. Then I need to jump to 164, and I need to add some more. I could add index.cgi, index.php, because this we might use that to start the pages from. And then I need to add to the end. Well, to go to the end, you do capital G. Okay. And you need to add some server tokens. supposed to be production here. And we need to say keep alive also. That is okay. These are things we need to do. So you follow the instructions here. You could use nano. Well, you don't have it, but you could install it with yum install -y nano. Remember, if you're not a root, if you're not logging as a root, you need to use sudo in front. Okay. Now we need to restart our. We need to start and enable from the start our server. Systemctl. The command to do both is enable --now, and you say httpd, and it will enable. I could check the status now, and it's active as you see, and it is well, it's not enabled. Let's try and enable. It's enabled. We could put a simple. We could always put a simple web page, which we could put here in. That's where most of the time the web page resides. Okay. So this is how it looks, the test page. It's a very simple thing you could do. Then you could test it actually with the command curl. So I could install elinks, and I could test it from the browser actually after this from the command line. So if I do here now elinks, here how it looks, and the URL is http localhost. Here it is, test page. As you see, my test page is working, right? So it's. I could actually use the mouse, I think, or do the alt with the alt key here. Yeah, the escape key, and I could navigate with the menu here. So it's kind of useful. Okay. So basically, my job is almost done here. What I could do now is to reboot, to add it to my infrastructure on the left side and test the infrastructure after this. I could clone it now. I'll call it www. It would be, as we mentioned, link clone, and I'll generate new MAC address, and it would be very fast because it's a link. It's not a real thing. So what I could try right away would be to implement this www in my infrastructure. So I'll come edit, preferences, VirtualBox, virtual machines. I'll say new, and I'll wait until these are populated, and it will be at the bottom of the list. I'll say finish, do edit. I'll change the. And the important thing actually here is, well, I will decrease this one. I'll do only 1 gigabyte. It's headless. I don't need to check how to start because it's a VirtualBox appliance. It will start automatically. In the network, that's the most important thing. That's what you need to do actually. The other things are just optional. Okay, I'll say apply. I'll say OK, and my web server is here now. I'll put it into my infrastructure. Change the name. And I will connect it now to my switch here. And I'll move it a little bit. Okay, and I will start it to test it here actually. Now I'm gonna log in back. I'll check my IP address. Okay, I'm taking 10.0.100.200. That's a good. It means my firewall is giving IP address as I expect. If I would like to check the default route, here it is. It's good. If I would like to check my DNS server, this is the command. It seems okay. Let's ping Google. Now, there is no connectivity between these machines, so Google won't be able to access. We need to do something on the firewall. Let's ping. You see, it's not reachable. We have something we need to do on the firewall. Okay, so let's open the firewall now. On the firewall, what we did up to now, actually, we went on the system first line here. Let me just do it a little bit bigger so you have to see the full menu. So on the system, we navigated to the general setup, which actually mimic the setup wizard we did initially. We changed the password again because it was changed to the initial one. Then I went to the interfaces and I check all the interfaces if they're properly done. Remember, all of them at the bottom, you're supposed to have the allowed the private communication with the private networks, because our infrastructure consists of the private networks. Here it is at the bottom for all of them. And the last thing what I did, I went to the services, I opened the DHCP server, and first for the LAN and then for the DMZ, I was sure that the DHCP servers are on. Now, after this, we're going to stop for both of them. For now, we need them. Now, what we need to do more, let's first do some tests, networking tests. Let's do first. So what I'll do first would be to ping. Actually, there is a very nice diagnostics here. I'll click on diagnostics. I'll go to ping, and I could say any host name I could ping by host name and by name and by IP address from any of my configured configured interfaces. So first, I'll ping my computer here. So my real computer IP address. We did it already. It's this one, 23.2. So it's written here actually. Here it is, 23.2. So let's ping first this one. Oh, it's already here. Let's ping it from one interface first. Let's start with the one. Here it is. All the interfaces are here. So one. We do ping. We'll go to the firewall. Then we're gonna go rules. Okay. Now we're gonna allow everything actually. So I'm gonna go to the one first. And this one is allowed. It's already done. But if it is not, you just click add. And, well, I'll show it to you on the, well, on LAN it's done already actually too. Okay. In DMZ, it's done too. That's what we expect. We are able to ping directly from our one interface. We're able to ping the external address. Let's try to ping the same one from the LAN interface. It's the same. As you see, we have access from the LAN, and let's try to ping it from the DMZ interface. The same thing. We are able to ping it. So from everywhere, we are able to ping our external interface. So we could do a small schema here, so we to know which in and out traffic. At the moment, it's the out traffic is available at the moment. So let me show you how we'll do it. So with this ping, we saw that we could, with the both pings, we saw that we could access from internally, from LAN, we could access our outside network, and from the DMZ we could access. Now let's try the vice versa. So let's try to access from our external network to access the internal, the LAN and the DMZ. So let's see what will happen. So let's first ping, that's my real computer. Let's ping first 192.168.1.0. 1.102 actually. I'm not sure if that's the IP address. Let me double check it. That's the server's IP address. Well, as we expect, we're not supposed to be able from outside world to access it. That's a good thing. Okay, and we could put actually an in line here and says it's not accessible. Let's try to ping our DMZ now. So let's ping. Finally, let's check if we're gonna able to from our real computer to access the interface, which is the WAN interface of the router. So 192.168.124.129, and we have access. So our firewall works exactly as it's supposed to. Okay. Let's put now the other line here, and I'm gonna drag it here. I'm gonna drag it here next to the other one, and I'll put it next to the other one like this. After, maybe I need to move it a little bit though. Okay, and I'll drag it like this, and I'll put the in on the other side. So that's related to out. And this one here is related to in. Okay, well, that's what we have as ability to make drawing. But as you see, we have pretty good. Yeah, we could see things. At least we could know which one is allowed and which one is not allowed. Okay. Just to remind you, on the firewall again, what I did. Initially, the general setup, I just double check, it's mimics once again the setup wizard. Okay, then going to the interfaces, WAN, LAN, and DMZ, and checking if everything at the bottom is unchecked. We said that's only for our lab environment we do this, otherwise we don't do. Here it is at the bottom. Then I went to the firewall rules. Well, first I went to the services, actually, DHCP server, and I allowed the DHCP servers on the both LAN and DMZ interfaces. Then to the firewall, and on the rules I allowed all the incoming and outgoing traffic for the WAN, LAN, and DMZ. Okay, and then I check with the diagnostic tool, and from my real machine, I checked all the possible pings which are interesting for me at the moment, which is connectivity from which side? From a real machine, which acts as an internet, and from internally, from DMZ and LAN. And everything for now works as it's supposed to. So basically, I was able at the end to draw these lines which are showing the out or egress traffic and in or incoming traffic from outside world and from inside.